Continuing from the previous episode 2690. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. Endless Flame Alliance Headquarters, Endless Fire Territory. Tianlong, Difeng, be careful not to step on these flowers. At this time, the Endless Fire Territory still inherits the prosperity of the past. Mu Yingying left with Xiaoyan, Zuner and Kalin are busy all day long in the Sea of Reincarnation, collecting information such as the Dragon Clan, and Yun Yun is responsible for handling the Endless Fire Territory. Size matters. After dealing with a lot of tedious things, Yun Yun came to the backyard alone, slowly running the power in her body, as if she was spying on the so-called flower god. In the backyard, there is also a flower sea world of hundreds of meters. This place is paved by Yun Yun with the power of flower gods. It has become Yun Yun's resting place on weekdays, which is in line with Yun Yun's indifference. Temperament. No. The two little guys, Tianlong and Difeng, were running around, and the childlike laughter were very cheerful. After a while, Yun Yun slowly opened her eyes and sighed faintly. It seems that relying on the strength of the current 6-layer reincarnation rank to perceive the Washan seal, it is impossible to shake it, to spy on the road to the god's mansion. But Yun Yun is sure that this flower god's seal is the inheritance of the flower god's residence. There is still no way to find a way now, and it is mysterious. Mistress, I have something to report. Immediately, the void in the sea of flowers wriggled slightly, and a shrewd black figure emerged among them. Stalker. This is a secret army that the 4 mistresses have secretly planned since the catastrophe in the Endless Fire Domain. The overall number is only a few dozen people. Although most of their strengths are in the level of reincarnation, they are better than loyalty, and the methods they cultivate are mostly some stealth and concealment techniques. Have been exploring a lot of precious information for the Endless Fire Field all day long. Go ahead. Yun Yunyu swung her hand to cover the bodies of the 2 of them. This kind of thing is kept secret and naturally cannot be known to outsiders. One of those forces who are uncertain whether to join the Endless Flame Alliance, the Heavenly Spirit Sect, has disappeared. The guard spoke in a low voice. Obviously, the information he said was highly classified. Even if it was a space intelligence dealer, it would probably be classified as top secret. Disappeared? Destroyed? Can those behind-the-scenes masterminds who are hostile to the Shao clan finally resist? Yun Yun stood up, and there was a sudden burst of vigilance in her calm, beautiful eyes. The Shao clan used to have countless allies, but with the decline of the Shao clan, many allies gradually became estranged. This Heavenly Spirit Sect was one of the 7 powerful forces that Xiao Yan went to the meeting place. The strength of its suzerain's 7-fold reincarnation rank peak can be so understated to obliterate the entire force. I am afraid that the strength of the Black Hand behind the scenes, at least to say, must be the real 8-fold reincarnation rank, or even stronger. No, mistress. From our investigation, the void has already been broken and collapsed, and the entire void has been blasted into waste. It's just that we found a trace of this power from somewhere. While speaking, the guard took out a stone box from under the black robe. This is. Yun Yun reached out and took the stone box, quietly opened it, but saw a gray arc of thunder lying quietly in it. Even if this arc of thunder has no attack power at this time, it is full of a strong sense of familiarity. The thunder power of the Thunder Lord? How can it be? Didn't Master Lei and his disciples retreat in the ghost world? In an instant, a touch of unease slowly spread to Yun Yun's heart. Today, the power of the Endless Flame Alliance can only barely rank among the peak forces in the Great Thousand World, and it is almost only in the middle. If at this juncture, it is discovered that the destruction of the Heavenly Spirit Sect is related to the Endless Flame Alliance, I am afraid that those behind the scenes will, for this reason, he will completely attack the Endless Flame Alliance. Today's Endless Flame Alliance has not rescued many seniors in the Sea of Reincarnation, and the Dragon Clan and the Underworld have not been rescued. If it is attacked at this time, it may be a real catastrophe. I know about this. Remember, don't mention it to anyone but me. After a while, Yun Yunyu clenched her hand tightly and extinguished the thunder arc, and there was always a sense of unease in her mind. Yun Yun knew that this matter was fake, but she felt anxious in her heart. What those people behind the scenes needed was just a reasonable excuse. Yes, subordinates retire. The stalker slowly left, and calm was restored here. It's still a little bit to succeed. Don't let anything happen at this juncture. Yun Yun looked at this world of flowers and couldn't help but pray slowly. In the second town demon prison, boundless brilliant divine power was scattered everywhere, and in the entire void, at this time, there were two beautiful figures out of thin air. Mu Yingying and Yao Ji. Senior, thank you. While speaking, Mu Yingying actually bowed and performed a standard ceremony. With the increase of the divine weapon and the power of the reincarnation seal, her rank has soared to the 6th reincarnation rank. Looking at Yao Ji in front of me, I suddenly found that the latter's appearance and posture have undergone earth-shaking changes from before. The slender body, the strange purple hair fell vertically like a galaxy, and on the purple dress, there were endless exquisite patterns. The patterns flickered slightly, and it was even filled with an unprecedented sacred wave. The whole figure looked extraordinarily powerful. Mu Yingying's beauty and appearance are already in a state of beauty, but when facing Yao Ji, she is also slightly inferior. The holy piano has been integrated into your body. You can do whatever you want, but remember that you need to practice more, and with your strength, it is enough to burst into a good formidable power. This is a fighting skill. It's useless to me. I'll give it to you. While speaking, Yao Ji's long eyelashes blinked, and a scroll full of purple light poured into Mu Yingying's hands. Thank you. The world calls me Our Lady. If you don't dislike it, then she will be my daughter in the future. Yao, mother. Seeing Mu Yingying, who was completely unprepared and threw herself into her arms like a child, Yao Ji also smiled slowly. This girl, no matter her background or experience, is too similar to herself. This kind of practice is just some selfishness of Yao Ji. After all, when they were with the Holy King, they had no children under their command. Boom! Immediately, the demon-suppressing prison shook the void, the rolling thunder shook the heavens and the earth in a low voice, and the two vast breaths slowly woke up. Did the closure succeed? The 8th level reincarnation level and the 6th level reincarnation level are not bad. Wake up those sleeping powerhouses in the sea of samsara in the future, and you will have the strength to fight against the center of the human world and save the Shao clan. Looking at the two figures in front of her, Yao Ji laughed softly. Let's go. It's time to go back. There seems to be a lot of changes in this world. Of course, there are still some important things waiting for us. Don't worry, since this seat has already exited the customs, it is natural for those behind the scenes to pay a heavy price in the future. Several people smiled heartily, left the demon suppression prison, and after passing some news to the Fire Elf family, they went straight to the Endless Fire territory. Obviously, the next action must be accelerated. There is a dark world in the human world. At this time, a white figure bathed in firelight suddenly opened his closed eyes. There seemed to be some obscure ancient fluctuations in those eyes. Afterwards, a heart-piercing roar resounded through the sky. Yao Ji, isn't she dead? In order to facilitate the next reading, you can click on the favorites below to record this time. Chapter 2706 Exit, Return. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2691. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. Endless Fire Domain. The prosperous Endless Fire territory has provoked many creatures in the great world to try to join it. After all, this is one of the few safe places under the catastrophe today. The Aborigines in the Endless Fire territory also believed in Shao Yan, and they built statues of Shao Yan on their respective continents to worship him. If you want to worship Lord Shao Yu, go to the Yanlin Hall in front. This is a forbidden area at the back, and no one can wait to enter. In the headquarters of Endless Fire territory, an ordinary-looking old man who swept the door and watched a suspicious figure in a hurry in and out of the hall from time to time, couldn't help scolding. This guy looks unremarkable, but he always makes himself feel weird. Hey, I'm sorry old senior, because Lord Shao Yu is very powerful. Don't you want to see more about the life and deeds of Lord Shao Yu, and study like him? The thin-faced man looked at the statue of Shao Yan in the hall, turned his head and smiled at the old man at the door. By the way, senior, do you have any more stories about Lord Shao Yu? I would like to take a good look at it and study it. Let's go. This is a forbidden area, not something ordinary people can enter. The books and deeds of Lord Shao Yu are all in the Endless Book Pavilion. I'll take you there. Hey, thanks. While talking, a bright mirror leaked out from this guy's arms, and it seemed to be absorbing some power. That power seemed to fill the mirror, but unfortunately it was only filled with a trace. As the two walked, some bad thoughts flickered in their hearts. It seemed that the identities of these two people, or the power they possessed in their bodies, were not ordinary people. Endless Fire Domain Headquarters. I've waited to see Senior Yao Ji. In the Mistress Hall, the four mistresses, Xiao Yan and Yao Ji's master and apprentice, a total of 7 people gathered here. After the demon suppression prison ended, Yao Ji's existence did not disturb too many strong people. After all, she had to be on guard against that mysterious person. It's okay. Seeing that the 4 women in front of them were unparalleled in their own appearances, a burst of surprise suddenly appeared in Yao Ji's beautiful eyes. This Xiao Yan seems not only to be outstanding in talent and strength, but even his character, who is arrogant, is also much stronger than the usual people of the Xiao clan. Senior has already left the customs. What are the plans for the next? Among the 4 daughters, Kai Lin was the one who remembered this matter the most. Slightly rectify first. Then go to the Sea of Reincarnation to wake up those ancient powerhouses who have been sleeping for a long time. At that time, the Endless Flame Alliance had the strength to intervene in the peak situation of the Great Thousand World. Next, I am afraid it is the Dragon Clan, or the Underworld. It's a thing. Yao Ji's expression was a little dignified. Obviously, it is not an easy task to restore to the peak strength of the Quasi-9 reincarnation rank. By the way, Senior, what exactly needs to be done in the second stage of the repair of the god Zushin ruler? Xiao Yan nodded silently. What Yao Ji said was naturally the best solution they had negotiated. However, Xiao Yan still had a lot of concerns in his heart about the divine tool, the god execution ruler, so he could only ask aloud. After all, this thing is one of his trump cards now. Yao Ji's identity is special. I am afraid she will know some feasible methods. The repair of the god execution ruler. I heard the Holy King mention it by chance. The premise of the repair is that a real 9-layer reincarnation-level powerhouse can be carried out. Yao Ji recalled for a while, and then said the news solemnly. It seems that we still have to find the Flame God Cauldron first. After a while, Xiao Yan shook his head slightly. The real 9th-level reincarnation-level powerhouse, in the entire Great Thousand World, is probably only owned by the Kingdom of Angels, the center of the human world, and the Endless Fire Domain, and their positions are on the opposite side. Flame God Cauldron. For you, it is also a good power. Go. There should be some obscure things waiting for you somewhere. Yao Ji said with a smile. She seemed to know some news about the Flame God Cauldron. Go. We will take care of it here. When you come back, you can set off for Samsara Sea. The 4 girls looked at the confused look in Xiao Yan's eyes, and hurriedly spoke softly. Yep. The prophet will tell the respective leaders to prepare for the Reincarnation Sea, and wait for me to come back. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Yan quietly left the Endless Fire territory. He was the only one who knew the location of the Flame God Cauldron, and he naturally wouldn't let other people go with him for such important matters. Hey, Master, you old man should stay in the Endless Fire territory. Except for the few of us, no one knows your arrival. Following Xiao Yan's departure, Xiao Yi also smiled diligently. For a time, the 4 daughters and Yao Ji's master and apprentice slowly discussed the current situation and the alien evil clan who had been in a quiet state. Outside the realm, the dark and dead land of 10,000 ghosts. Holy Lord, our army has been assembled. The black evil spirit lingered in this world, and the evil spirit was soaring to the sky, making people shudder. Although the Second World War has already begun, we have been secretly gathering forces outside the realm. I can't think of those guys in the center of the human world who can't sit still and take the lead in attacking us. This time, let's declare war completely. Second evil god, third evil god, obey. Subordinates are here. Order the 2 of you to attack the Dachiengang. Quote ellipsis quote. The rest belong to us. Join us in attacking the Sea of Samsara. Yes! The mighty grand demon sound resounds through the world, and the power here is full of power, but it is extremely powerful. Holy Lord, the guardian in the first town of Demon Prison, FA, is still suppressed by the previous Angel Queen. First town Demon Prison, sooner or later I will go. Reincarnation is of great importance. We must take the lead in smashing the strong people who live in it. Once they are revived, our steps to rule the world outside the territory will become much slower. Attack! The mighty sound of the heavens and the earth swept out, and the Black Army was divided into dozens of teams, moving towards the Great Thousand World. And with the surging of these evil shadows, there are some slight voices gushing out from some core places of the evil tribe outside the territory. First, the things you asked me to investigate are already in sight. Say, the World Master at the center of the human world seems to be planning something with the kingdom of angels. This guy has always been so haunted, and this matter is over. You are going to attack the underworld. The fluctuations in the underworld recently seem to be a little unusual. The sleeping powerhouses in the Sea of Reincarnation are only the mainstays of some great thousand worlds, and the underworld is enough to threaten the existence outside our domain. Do you understand? First, a part of the blood of the Shao family is still in the center of the human world, and the world leader of the human world will definitely not make mistakes. When he tried to obliterate the Shao family and others, he must have made a foolproof plan, so why bother? So anxious. What I need is not a fluke, maybe, what I need is complete certainty. I don't want to have a second time like the situation during the First World War, do you understand? But many Zeons in the Saint race are already slightly dissatisfied with your actions. If you don't agree, kill it. The Second World War is our last chance. And don't forget, no matter how strong the grievances between the Human Realm Center and the Shao clan are, when facing our evil army, they will share the same hatred. There are no finished eggs under the nest. Yes! For the convenience of reading next time, you can click Favorites below to record this time. Chapter 2707 Quartet Movement. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2692. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. One of the human world regions, Tianweishan, is listed as a forbidden place by countless powerhouses. Even if there are many Zeons in the entire Great Thousand World, few people know its specific location. According to the ancient records of the Great Thousand World, so far, no one has been able to leave safely after entering here, whether it is by chance or deliberately entering here. Even if the strength of the latter has reached this world the peak, the final result is nothing but a fall. This is a Jedi that makes countless strong men in the world feel fearful, and its danger seems to be higher than the first town demon. Xiao Yan was alone, with the help of Yao Ji's long-distance spatial means, and with the help of the specific coordinates of the sky and the outer sky in his body, he suddenly swept toward the space of the Flame God Cauldron. The Yanshan Cauldron is known as the Seven Realms Divine Artifact by the Great Thousand Worlds because it is the only divine artifact recognized by the Seven Realms. Its illustrious power and great achievements are respected by countless beings, but few people know it. The origins and founders. When Xiao Yan was approaching this piece of heaven and earth, there was always a faint voice in his body calling him. It was a faint voice from the depths of Fenju's body, and it seemed to be guiding Xiao Yan's direction. Could it be that there is some obscure connection between this Flame God Cauldron and Fenju? In the dark passage, Xiao Yan moved rapidly, and for a while he could only hold on to the guesses in his mind and rush towards his destination. When the endless darkness faded from his eyes, the sight in front of Xiao Yan suddenly became brighter, and a world of death appeared in front of him. This world was swept away by fire, and all around were pale traces of burning flames. Even at a glance, Xiao Yan couldn't help feeling dizzy. What surprised Xiao Yan even more was that the whole picture of such a world of death was a frightening primitive mountain range. The whole body of the original mountain range was full of white color, and even those trees that were supposed to be lush and green, actually faintly exuded an extraordinarily fierce crisis. Xiao Yan's expression was serious, his speed skyrocketed, and he flickered in the primitive mountains like clouds and water, looking for the position of the Flame God Cauldron. Even if the aura here is dangerous, it is necessary to find the location of the Flame God Cauldron as soon as possible, and it is not advisable to stay here for a long time. Xiao Yan knew that his information on the Yanshan Ding only knew the location of this space, and as for the specific location of the divine artifact, there was no way to find out. Above this primitive mountain range, there are unknown dangers everywhere. If he stays here for a long time, even Xiao Yan's current strength will feel a very serious crisis. Not long after, with the huge soul power and holy flame, he slowly came to a relatively narrow and dark corner of the mountain range. This place is surrounded by countless white trees, and it is hidden. If it wasn't for Sheng Yan's sense of the flame god cauldron, I am afraid that Xiao Yan would be very easy to get lost here, let alone find this strange area. When I came to the corner and looked down, the faint light was especially chilling. Looking around, it seemed to be a dark and deep valley below, but after having to watch for a while, a look of horror suddenly appeared in Xiao Yan's eyes, and his expression instantly became weird. It seems, that call originating from Fenju is transmitted from the deep valley below. Go down and have a look. If you can't, leave first. After a brief hesitation, Xiao Yan's body rolled with 9 color flames, and the majestic reincarnation aura emerged beside him. His body swayed slightly, and he fell into the deep valley below. This deep valley is extremely strange. With Xiao Yan's pervasive soul perception, it is impossible to detect the mystery. No matter what kind of power Xiao Yan displays, it will be swallowed up by the deep valley. The speed of Xiao Yan's descent was very slow. At the moment of his descent, Xiao Yan only felt that his whole body was engulfed by a strange force, and he fell into a strange area again. The surroundings of the deep valley were pitch dark. Even if it was the flame of the 9-color holy flame, the radiance released here was as weak as the radiance of a firefly, and would be completely extinguished at any time. Just as Xiao Yan was puzzled, a gloomy wind suddenly appeared all over his body. At the same time, countless strange beasts with their shapes appeared out of thin air. The fluctuations on these beasts were mysterious and puzzling. Into the heart. Terror. Countless giant beasts hummed and roared, their asterisk and greedy eyes fixed on Xiao Yan directly, as if they were ecstatic when looking at their food. Get out of my way. Xiao Yan was at a loss for a while. The pressure increased greatly. He could only snort coldly. The power of destruction of the 8th reincarnation rank spread out, and just now, these strange beasts were barely shaken back. Among the destructive power, there is no lack of holy flame power and huge soul power. It seems that relying on the effect of the 2 powers, these alien beasts have been repelled. Suppressing the confusion in his heart, Xiao Yan's body slowly fell, and a few minutes later he reached the bottom of the valley. This place is simply a Jedi that should not exist in the world. A burst of white color on the ground at the bottom of the valley was particularly terrifying, and there were gloomy bones and debris everywhere. The surrounding air faintly revealed a ferocious and sinister evil, and the entire space looked evil. Can't move? This is a space barrier? No, not a simple space barrier. In the colorless and transparent valley bottom void in front of him, there seemed to be some force beyond Xiao Yan's cognition that isolated it and blocked Xiao Yan's movement. Fire. Btth2. He summoned the flame and threw it at the colorless and transparent space barrier. The flame was instantly vaporized by it and turned into nothingness. With the supreme divine power of Xiao Yan's 8-fold reincarnation rank now, combined with the fire of the 9-color holy flame, with such a majestic power, even facing the 8th-fold reincarnation rank peak powerhouse, he is still at the bottom of the valley. The world was easily destroyed by the mysterious space barrier. Anxiety and despair slowly emerged from Xiao Yan's mind. A huge pressure suddenly spread from all directions, and there were faint traces of crushing and tearing Xiao Yan. This kind of power cannot be resisted. It seems that Xiao Yan's whole body has no choice but to wait quietly for the destruction. Buzz. Immediately, the Emperor Yan ring suddenly gushed out, and as soon as it appeared, he cut a *** opening on Xiao Yan's arm. The blood, little by little, dripped into this dark valley bottom world. The blood, and even a special fluctuation, just made Xiao Yan's grim unease disappear here. Emperor Flame Ring. This is the stuff of the Holy King, isn't it? Suppressing the many doubts in his heart, Xiao Yan did not move, turned his head and glanced around. His vision was very blurred, and he could only see countless mysterious and evil shadows emerging around the bottom of the valley. Just a few minutes after the crisis was lifted, the blood-colored light beam shook suddenly, as if under some terrible pressure. What on earth is it? The numerous mysteries and obstacles made Xiao Yan feel slightly moved. Is this really the place where the Flame God Cauldron is stored? Why so many defensive measures? Moreover, among the piles of bones around, there was even a faint, terrifying aura that moved Xiao Yan. As powerful as that kind of existence has fallen here, just relying on brute force, I am afraid that such a dead end cannot be solved. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2708 Jedi. The reading record. You can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2693. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. In the Deep Valley, there are many dangers. Even Xiao Yan's current strength is a little tricky, but there is a vague intuition in his heart telling himself that the fight here seems to be carefully planned by someone here, as if guarding some unknown secrets in general. Crisis chain after chain. Feeling the strangeness in the Deep Valley, Xiao Yan's complexion became calm, the demons in his body, the power of the god-slaying ruler, etc. began to flicker little by little. In such an extremely dangerous place, Xiao Yan did not dare to have any reservations. After all, if he was not careful, although he would not fall here, he would stay here forever. With the help of Sheng Yan's weak flame light, Xiao Yan moved cautiously in the Deep Valley. The Emperor Yan Ring and his own blood power slowly surrounded him, as if they were blocking the approach of those strange auras. This is a formation? After a while, Xiao Yan vaguely saw a slightly raised rocky area in front of him. Upon closer inspection, it seemed to be a formation. There was a dead silence around the formation, and there was no life, but in the area surrounded by the formation, there was a dark cave like a cave. From there, a hot sense of calling kept pouring out. With this guess in his heart, many forces in Xiao Yan's body suddenly boiled. Walking around carefully, it is not difficult to find that this is a triangle-like formation with a range of about tens of meters. The three sharp corners of the triangle formation seem to have a mysterious disc emerging from each. There was nothing in the disc, but with Xiao Yan's keen perception, he vaguely felt that the arrangement on the disc was strange, as if it was used to hold something. That kind of thing is probably the key to entering the cave. Terror. At the moment when Xiao Yan hesitated, in the dark valley all around, there seemed to be some ferocious beasts awakened by Xiao Yan, and a terrifying aura that was enough to shake Xiao Yan slowly filled the air. And from the traces of those shadows, I'm afraid there is more than one end. Boom! The power of holy flame. The blood of the Xiao family. The power of burning. The change in his eyes, combined with the change in the power in his body, Xiao Yan shouted at the same time. 3 groups of power flashed in his body, and it turned out that the 3 discs were instantly filled up. In an instant, a dazzling ray of light shone up on this valley bottom world. At this moment, all the aura of crisis in the Deep Valley seemed to vanish in an instant. Looking around, what kind of Jedi is here? The layout of the entire Deep Valley is rigorous, and it suddenly has the same effect as their Xiao clan ancestral hall. The Deep Valley here. Actually, there is a faint fluctuation of the same origin of the Xiao clan. The gate of heaven is open. In an instant, an ancient whisper that seemed to have survived countless years, unexpectedly emerged from the strange formation in front of him. A burst of glowing light flickered, and Xiao Yan was easily swallowed into it. As for the aura of the strange creatures entrenched in this place, the moment they followed Xiao Yan into the cave, they were annihilated by the power of the formation and vanished into ashes. I have waited for you to reincarnate in 100 lives, and finally I have waited for you, the descendants of the Xiao family. And when Xiao Yan swept into the cave, a long-lasting turbid low tone actually slowly dissipated into the Deep Valley. With the disappearance of this sound, all the remaining power in the entire Deep Valley completely disappeared. It seems that no matter how powerful it is, under this kind of power, there is only a sad ending. The extraordinary divine power filled in this voice is too terrifying. Without the power of darkness and the terrifying power of danger, the deep valleys here are no different from ordinary valleys. The only difference is that the valleys are filled with countless corpses and debris, including traces of humans and dragons and phoenixes. There are many dangers in such a restricted area of life, but the opportunities that are full of them are enough to make countless strong people jealous. It's a pity that they are not as lucky as Xiao Yan. This is. After pouring into the cave, Xiao Yan felt the world spinning for a while, and then he sank into a pure white world. This world is like an illusion. and there is not even a trace of heaven and earth energy around. At first glance, the majesty of the ancient spirit lingers in Xiao Yan's heart, and he is awe-inspiring. In the world in front of him, there was only a dark giant with tens of thousands of feet in front of Xiao Yan. This behemoth covered the sun and seemed unable to detect the true face of the latter with sight and perception, but Xiao Yan was able to clearly sense that on top of this behemoth, there was a sound that made Dianji buzzing. Ancient waves. Such obscure fluctuations are like finding their long-lost master. Shush. The Emperor Yan ring does not have a spirit, but at this time, it is like an instinct, slowly pushing Xiao Yan's body. Like that, it is clear that he wants Xiao Yan to climb the sky and reach the end. Go! Seeing this, Xiao Yan was stunned for a moment, and then he licked his dry tongue, and a rare fiery finally emerged from his eyes. Fenju, Flame God Cauldron, even Dianjia, Holy King. There seems to be some mysterious connection between these four. Imprisoned the void. Unable to use any power of flight. Can you only move on foot? Walking slowly, I sensed an aura that shouldn't belong to this world, imprisoning everything here. It seems that in the strange world here, you can only act according to the rules of this breath. Crack! Without any hesitation, Xiao Yan stepped forward and climbed directly along the edge of the behemoth. The arm tightly grasped the behemoth, and the ankles were equally strong on it, exerting a slight force, although the speed was very slow, but it was able to climb towards the end little by little. Although his appearance and speed were very embarrassing, when his body was attached to this behemoth, the 9-colored holy flames, Zhu Shenqi, and even Fenju in Xiao Yan's body became strangely quiet, as if their power temporarily isolated and sealed by it. What I can rely on now is only my own physical strength and the power of the Dragon God transformation. After moving for a while, and touching a range of dozens of meters, the cold touch around Xiao Yan's heart made Xiao Yan's heart feel slightly cold. It seems that the essence of this behemoth is a bronze iron tool. Moreover, Xiao Yan felt that this thing seemed to be absorbing the power in his body. Without waiting for Xiao Yan to notice, in the gap between the body and the behemoth, a dark pattern suddenly began to flicker. The pitch-black lines were originally dull, but with Xiao Yan's contact, there seemed to be some images flashing in the lines at this time. The body trembled, and a cyan flame suddenly separated from Xiao Yan's body, and immediately turned into a log surrounded by cyan flames, which turned out to be directly fit with this pitch-black pattern. Could it be? This is the Flame God Cauldron? Seeing such a shocking scene, Xiao Yan's heart suddenly filled with an unprecedented excitement and high fighting spirit. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorites below to record this time. Chapter 2709, The Test. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandi, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2694. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. As the first lines were filled with this flame, Xiao Yan could also vaguely discover that the place where he had just climbed had a rather ancient and mysterious saint moving slowly. What came out was a bronze-colored stone pillar foot. Combining the appearance of the Yanshan cauldron that he used before, it is not difficult to guess. I am afraid that just now, it is one of the several tripods of the Yanshan cauldron. After learning such news, an ecstatic ecstasy emerged in his heart. After a while, Xiao Yan suppressed the restlessness, his face was calm, and he secretly suppressed his climbing speed. With his current fighting spirit, he jumped over this path. The gigantic cauldron was only a matter of time. A few minutes later, it jumped into some distance again and arrived at the side of the second pitch-black pattern. Suddenly, the same scene slowly emerged. The khaki flame was separated from Xiao Yan's body again, and immediately poured into the dark lines around him without any hesitation, turning into a very vague ancient sacred pattern, which flickered. Combine. Moreover, Xiao Yan could feel that this separation did not have any impact on his own strength and holy flame. It seemed that it was just an extremely weak aura of holy flame. With the injection of two flames, this cold and ancient behemoth seems to be slowly revealing its full picture. The 34th holy flame, the burning heart demon flame. However, at this time, no flames appeared in the lines of the tripod body, but there was a very huge movement, as if it was calling for something. Demon Realm, where the Blood Moon Lord is located. After many years, someone has finally found this divine artifact and started to activate the Flame God Cauldron? Then this seat will help you. Venerable Blood Moon looked up at the endless starry sky, and there was a strong excitement in his eyes. With some faint traces of the holy flame in his body, he seemed to know something. His palm suddenly a little, and a dark black flame gushed out from the body. Suddenly facing the endless, the void position burst out. It seems that all Saint Flame controllers can clearly perceive the weak connection between Saint Flame and Flame God Cauldron. The 33rd path, transforming into heaven's smiting demon flames. In the endless fire territory, the meeting was over, the 4 women and the others were separated, and they were sitting in their own boudoirs for meditation. The holy flame in Kalen suddenly had a strange movement, which seemed to come from some kind of holy flame soul. A call from the depths. Have you found the Flame God Cauldron? It seems that my power of 10 colors has to be realized quickly. The jade hand was raised, and the pale green flame, like a child eager to return home, swept through the void and disappeared from sight. The 32nd path, Xianfeng Tianyan. Xiaoyan, that guy is really fast. A shadowy figure casually tapped, and a dark blue flame dragon shadow emerged out of thin air, disappearing in front of him like a meteor by the moon. This guy is Kang Yu. After the immortal world was almost destroyed, this holy flame also fell into her hands. Today, she is still on her way to the ghost world to find Xiao Mu and the 10 Palace Yama. The 31st path, the Zan Lian of returning ruins. I can't believe that besides the Holy King, there are still strong people who can find the Flame God Cauldron. In a Buddhist holy place called Dalian Temple in the Buddhist world, a monk wrapped in the power of thunder smiled and rolled his palms. A golden Buddha statue paved with bright golden and silver flames spanned countless time and space. Swept away to some mysterious place. The 30th course, the Flame of Life and Death. This flame was originally controlled by the Judge of Life and Death in Hell, but after many powerhouses in the *** world were destroyed by Xiao Yan, this flame and Xiao Lingshan's reincarnation seal also fell into the hands of Mu Yingying. The black and white 2-color flame reflected a quiet woman, and the lotus step opened slightly and suddenly disappeared. The 29th path, looking for Jinbayan. Daddy's power? In a peaceful mountain range in the human world, on the Yunxia continent, a slim young girl is quietly staying in the mountain range. There is a 9-colored snake and a small silver-white mouse around her. The two are like children, are generally playful and very happy. After a while, the woman raised her hands slightly, and the little silver-white mouse suddenly roared at the sky, and an energy mouse shadow composed of silver-white flames left here. It seems that the real war is about to start. I have to go back and watch. The 28th way, the 8 desolates glazed fire. One of the strange places in the human world, the core of the 4 seas and 8 barrens. At this time, there is a small amber tower full of countless ancient prohibitions, and there seems to be a burly man in the tower who is retreating. Someone motivated the Flame God Cauldron. Is the catastrophe coming? While speaking, a mysterious flame burst out from the rose-colored towers, swept away towards the calling land. The 27th path, leading the soul to the evil flame. The source of the change actually originated from the core of the ghost realm Li Soul domain. At this time, there were 11 figures and high spirits standing here, and the leader of them was even more familiar to Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan's growth speed makes us immortals feel ashamed. The dark flame in Xiao Mu's palm beat slowly, as if he had received a great summon. Xiao Mu, Xiao Xifen, and even Yama of the 10 halls, all gathered in the ghost world at this time, guarding the entrance to the underworld. There is the protection of the Thunder Lord here, and ordinary people cannot know their exact location. The 26th path, pure spirit fairy flame. In the Jade Pool Temple, the whole body is graceful and graceful. The Yao Ling, who was quietly sitting in seclusion in the Jade Pool, suddenly opened his beautiful eyes, and a helpless smile hung on his cheeks. Xiao Yan, it wasn't long before we separated, and you have reached this level. While speaking, the turquoise lotus platform slowly rose and disappeared into the void. Yao Ling knew that Xiao Yan, whether it was talent or courage, was by no means something in the pool, and the gap between the two might only get bigger in the future. The 25th path, Pluto Flame. This is a dim world. There is no trace of light in the world. There is only endless cold and death breath. At this time, there were suddenly countless black ink-like liquids condensed in this world. It turned out to form a dark throne out of thin air in the dark world. There was nothing on the throne, but there was only one full of evil nature. The windbreaker swayed, and there seemed to be some flickering aura of both good and evil. Yan Shending has found a new owner. Is this a test? Inductively, it seems to be the breath of the descendants of the Shao clan. It's just that the guy who has been hiding in the dark is not very afraid of the extraordinary power of Yan Shending. Why is it? Give him such a fetish? Although that guy didn't show up at the beginning, but from the many traces, it is clear that he secretly prevented the Holy King from taking control of this thing. What is the purpose of his purpose? Who is his true identity? A faint voice fell from the throne, and the understated voice was filled with a strong fluctuation that competed with the heavens and the earth. I wonder who else would be other than the mysterious and unpredictable underworld Supreme King, Pluto? For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorites below to record the reading record of this time. Chapter 2710 Sacred Flame Induction, Sacred Relics, Part 1, and you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis.